The X8 Pro retro gaming console lzakmr. What if I told you that you could hold your entire childhood in the palm of your hand? I'm talking about every single game you stayed up all night to beat, every character you obsessed over, every world you escaped to. It sounds like a wild promise, right? I thought so too. But what's inside this little box is something you have to see to believe. The moment you plug this in, your screen lights up with a gateway to the past. We're talking about a library of over 70,000 games. Let that sink in for a second. It's not a typo. Every classic from the systems that defined our lives is right there. The quest to save the princess, the thrill of that perfect combo, the frustration of that one impossible level. It all comes rushing back. You just plug it into your TV's HDMI port, connect the power, and that's it. No complicated setup, no technical nonsense. It's just you and a universe of nostalgia waiting at your fingertips. The interface is clean and simple, letting you scroll through endless lists of titles that will make you feel like a kid in a candy store again. I spent the first hour just scrolling, my jaw on the floor, as I saw games I hadn't thought about in 20 years. I found myself rediscovering titles I had completely forgotten, games that were a huge part of my life, now just a button press away. The wireless controllers feel familiar in your hands, ready for hours of gameplay without being tethered to the console. It's the kind of experience designed for pure, uncomplicated fun. You can finally show your kids the games that made you fall in love with gaming in the first place, or you can finally beat that one boss that always gave you trouble. It's an endless archive of entertainment, a museum of gaming history that you can actually play. I found myself lost for hours, jumping from one classic to another, feeling that same magic I felt all those years ago. The sheer volume is mind-boggling, and the convenience of having it all in one place, ready to go at a moment's notice, is something I've always dreamed of. It supports so many of those old-school systems that we grew up with, from the 8-bit and 16-bit eras all the way to some of the early 3D consoles. It truly feels like a time machine dedicated to the golden age of gaming. But let's be real for a second. I was completely on the fence about this. I've seen dozens of these retro consoles online, and most of them are just cheap plastic filled with broken games and disappointment. When I saw the X8 Pro retro gaming console and its incredible game count, I thought it was just another scam. I was expecting input lag, games that wouldn't load, and a user experience that would make me want to throw it against the wall. And I have to be completely honest with you, it's not a perfect system. When I pushed it to its limits and tried to run some of the more demanding 3D games from systems like the PS2 or GameCube, I started to see its limitations. I ran into some occasional stutters and frame drops on the really complex titles. It's not going to give you a flawless performance on every single one of the 70,000 games, especially the higher-end ones. The controllers are decent and get the job done, but if you're a hardcore competitive gamer, you might notice they don't have that premium feel. This isn't a high-end PC emulator, and it's not trying to be. But then I took a step back and remembered why I got this in the first place. I went back to the classics, the games from the systems this device was born to play, and that's where it absolutely blew me away. For the endless hours of pure nostalgic joy it delivers, the value here is just off the charts. For every game that stutters, there are 1,000 others that play perfectly, taking you right back to the good old days. This isn't for the pixel-counting perfectionist. It's for the person who just wants to relive their favorite gaming memories without any hassle. It's for the thrill of rediscovering a long-lost gem and sharing it with friends and family. It's about having fun, and this little box delivers that in a massive, overwhelming, and beautiful way. The sheer joy of having this much gaming history at your command outweighs the minor performance hiccups on the most demanding titles. It has completely reconnected me with why I fell in love with video games in the first place. You know that I only recommend what I truly believe in and what actually works. And to help you dive back into these incredible worlds, I'm leaving the link to buy this in the description and in the very first comment below. This is where I got mine, and it's the best deal I could find, but they sell out all the time, so grab it before it's gone. Now, I need you to do one thing for me. Hit the comments and tell me the very first game you would play. Smash that like button if you're ready to feel that rush of nostalgia, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on what's coming next. Let's get this conversation started.